Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining today's webinar. So today we're going to look at some exciting new things that are being released. So that's all surrounding our jobs functionality and some really cool features in regards to dataset tables. So that's going to be coming soon in the next few days, but today we're going to be talking about jobs first. So our jobs module works with our CRM and works with our forms. So of those of you that are already using Formatize, you may or may not be familiar with the jobs functionality. So you can book a job, use our preset templates that you can create and fully customize within your account to make the job process really easy and also to automate your communication. So when a job is created, you can have an email go straight to your customer, and also after jobs have been completed. So that may be follow-ups and things like that. So the job functionality is really easy to use. So I'm going to go through some of its key features and show you around. Let's get started. Okay, so this is our home dashboard. So you can access and create jobs from different places within the management portal and also on the app. So you would have noticed from a recent update that we had that we've got the plus new button. So this allows you to easily create jobs as well as other elements within Formatize. You can also create a job through the jobs tab and also the jobs menu and the scheduler. So for example, you may use the scheduler functionality to create a job if you're looking for availability, and you can see exactly when you'll be able to book someone in for a job. So looking at your technicians and how many things that they have already booked, and create the job from there. So first off, we're going to look at the jobs list. So the jobs list allows you to be able to see and filter job information. We've got some exciting news happening in this space that I'll be able to show you later in today's session. So as you can see, the jobs list is filterable and you can easily access job information. So you can have a look and see if there's an invoice attached, for example, as well as being able to edit that job to make any changes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the process of creating a job. So I'm just going to use the new job tab here, just so you can see how simple it is. So in the job details, you have the customer information. So from here, you can create a new client that will create into the CRM, or you can choose for an existing client that you already have created. Additionally, you can add another location. So for clients that have multiple properties that you service or attend to, you can add all of those locations straight from the job page by clicking on Add New Location. Again, this is all available as well through the contact as a whole. So if you were in a contact, you can create a new location there. In this instance, we'll use the example that we already have. We do have site name functionality, so that makes it really easy to be able to further identify a property. So sometimes you may not know the billing name, for example, but your technicians or users are familiar with the site name. Our zone functionality works in the job element as well as also connecting through to our asset management. So a zone would allow you to be able to further break down a property. So it may be a car park or a loading dock, for example. So it can really drill down into that one particular location. So you know exactly where you need to go. So that may be the zone that you're servicing, or it may filter down the different assets. So your fire extinguishers, for example, in a particular zone can be used in the job element to make your filtering of your assets in your reports. Then we have the job details. So down in the bottom left, you can choose a job type. So I've mentioned that already on high level of what functionality a job type has, and further webinar sessions will go into more detail about a job type. However, a job type can automatically set the duration. It can also have the applicable forms attached to the job. So if you've got safety forms, job forms, and web forms, they can all be attached automatically and still edited when you create the job. So if, for instance, you need to remove or add on an extra form, we'll have a look at how to do that in a second, but the job type is going to automatically attach those to the job for you. A really cool feature in the job type template process is for a web form to be able to be automatically sent. So for example, you may send a pre-agreement to the client, so something where they need to sign an agreement before you attend the job. And then in this instance, you can see we've got a customer satisfaction survey. So that can be sent automatically after the job is completed, for example, whether that's on completion or at a time frame. So it makes it really easy to connect everything that is associated with a job back to the job card itself. You can see that all of these forms are red, so the red outline and then the red icon, which is indicated that the forms haven't been started. Once they are started and completed, so in progress will show as orange, and then completed will show in green. So some other examples that we'll go through today will really highlight these features and make it really easy to understand. Back up through that job type that we've skipped through a few different fields there, you can see that the job title, again, this is coming from our job type, so automatically populating information for you, which makes the process of booking a job so much faster. Our job number will generate when the job is dispatched, and our order number can be used if you've got a PO or a work order, for example. You can add that number onto your job to keep everything together, and that number is searchable. The notes, so we have three types of notes within Formatize. So you have your customer notes, so that's on your CRM about a customer as a whole. Then you have job notes. So for this particular visit, for example, you may have specific instruction that you want to advise the person who out in the field of, so you would add that note here. And then you also have location notes, so something like a gate code, for example, you're able to put that on the individual location, and that always stays with the location, so you don't need to do that every single time you book in a job. On the next panel over, you'll see the actual visit information, so I can choose the person who the job is assigned to. Again, the persons that are able to be assigned are controlled by the user group of the job type. So if the job type is for senior technicians, for example, then only those users will be available for you to select to have this job assigned to. So easy housekeeping there. The due date and time, so that's the time that you're going to be attending the job, and the duration, again, set by the job type, but you can adjust each job individually. Our mobile asset functionality can be used to be able to assign a mobile asset onto the job as well. So if there is a particular piece of equipment that you need to use when doing a certain job, you can have that assigned through the asset module add-on. Financials at the bottom, so you can create an invoice or a quote to be attached to a job, and also choose from an existing quote or invoice that you have created. So you don't have to do it at any particular time. It can be added on later. It can be an invoice that you created previously, totally up to you. The job value is another optional field that's available for you to be able to show the value of the job to be able to report on. So that may be a different number to the invoice that you have attached to the job. So that is optional to be able to show in the app. salesperson and sales source. So salesperson could be from a commission scenario where you're attaching a particular user to the job that you've booked, and your sales source is something that you add in as a source, and every time you book another job, those sources are available for you to choose from. So that may be Google, it may be an advertising or marketing campaign that you've had, that you're able to then track those sales from a reporting perspective. On the right-hand side, you'll see the company details. So here I'm easily able to see all of the billing customers' information. I can click through to be able to look at all of their locations and edit them and view the contact as a whole. So when you're looking at your customer contact card, when you return back from that page, you'll be right back here in the job where you were. So you're not going to lose where you're up to. Our job functionality has recurring jobs that are available, so you can choose for a job to recur on any regular basis. That can be weekly, monthly, fortnightly, any of those options are available, as well as the different frequencies. So on a month, for example, you may choose that you want it to be on the first Monday of the month, or it may be on the third Monday. The job will continue to create either ending on a count. So if you're only going to do 10 of these particular visits, you can have it end at 10, or it may be a date that you're going to keep going until a particular date. Job count 0 will mean that that job will continue until you delete the job and the recurring profile. The creation is how many days before the next job is due that it's going to create. So that's generally around 3 to 14 days. Some clients just have it on one day before. Just remembering that communication on your job type that is triggered on creation, that's when that information is going to be sent. So your emails or your SMSs are going to be triggered, and that's when the job will push to the technician on the device. You're able to see a preview of what's coming up, so you can really make sure that you've got the schedule right. The next tab over is our forms tab. So again, with the job template, you don't need to go into each of these different tabs, because the job type is going to populate a lot of this information. But if you're looking to make any changes, then you can do so within the forms tab. So I can add and remove any forms that I may or may not need at this point. I can also send an email from here of the web form that I'd attached to that job type. So you can choose which form you want to email. So in this instance, I may just want to send the agreement form at this point, and my job type is going to send the survey after the job is completed. On this particular one, I've got it all automated, but you can see how easy it is to email from here. You can also pre-fill that job, safety or web form content. So if we have a look at the agreement form, for example, you'll see that there is a field for the price. So my form template for this particular form has that field locked as a web form field. So that means I can fill it in here, and if I was to start the form without a job, I can fill it in as well. But once I send it to that third party as a web form, that field can't be edited. So the automation of your job type will allow this to be sent for you. So you just pop in your price if that's what your form requires, and when you dispatch the job based on your job type triggers, the email of the web form will go automatically. So we'll have a look at some examples of that as well. Attachments, so you can have attachments on job level. Again, you can also have attachments on customer and location level. So something like a map of a property, for example, you may have that on the location document to ensure that it's there all the time. You don't need to add it to every single job. It will be available through the job and the location tab. In the top bar, you'll see the status and where the job is at and what type of job it is. So really easy to be able to identify exactly where you're up to on a particular job. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is jump back into the jobs page to show you a completed job and just some extra features that are available once the job has been dispatched. Okay, so you can see here that I've got an invoice attached to this particular job. It's not being paid. I have used a job type, so I can filter by this information, and this particular job is completed. So I can have a look at the job to then be able to see extra tabs. So our communication tab and also job history. So communication is going to show you all of the email, SMS reminders that have been triggered throughout the job process. And it's easy to be able to see what was sent and exactly when it was sent. And then you have your job history. So every touch point that the job has, whether you're emailing the web form, starting the form, or starting the job out in the field, and then also completing it. So you can see exactly how much time was spent on a job, as well as being able to see all of those points of where things had changed. Our forms tab, once forms have been completed, you are able to see those submitted forms from here. So you can simply click on the form and the hyperlink will take you straight to that submitted form. So makes it really easy to be able to see which form specifically is connected to a job. Further to that submitted form being connected to the job, you can have a look at the email log of that particular form to see who it was emailed to. So if a customer is saying that they didn't receive it, you can check and make sure, for one, their email address is correct, and additionally when it has been sent. So that's our job card. Really easy to create a job. As I said, with the job type templates, quite commonly you would create the job and you just need to use this page because your job type is going to populate most of the information for you. So it makes it a really quick and easy process. We're going to pop on over to the scheduler now. This is where you're able to see the jobs from a diary perspective. So you have day, week, and month view. You can flick between the scheduler view and also list view really easily. So if we have a look and see on a particular day, we can scroll through and we can have a look here on some jobs that we have booked in. So you're able to see exactly what jobs are there. Your job type as well is visible here, and quite easily you can move these jobs, whether they be to another technician or to another time, by using the drag and drop functionality. On the right hand side, you can quickly create a job by choosing a job type, choosing your customer, and then dragging that job banner placeholder that's down the bottom onto where you would like that job to be placed. So really easy to be able to do that.
We are really excited to show you a really powerful new add-on called Smart Routing. If your time is valuable to you, then Smart Routing is going to change your life. How does this sound for a choice? Get more jobs done in the same amount of time, or get your jobs completed faster and finish your day earlier. With Smart Routing, that choice is yours. And here's how it works. When you are logged in to your formatized dashboard, make sure that you are in your scheduler. Make sure that you have selected Day View and you have selected Map View. Also make sure that you have selected the right user for the day. Now you're going to add your jobs for the day, if you haven't already done so. As we can see, the total travel time for this user today is 4 hours and 50 minutes before we have optimized our route. Click on the Smart Routing button and now we will be able to optimize our route. As you can see, you can add a custom start and end location, which is helpful if you want the route optimization to start when you leave home, the office, the depot, or a different custom location. Keep in mind that adding a custom location will add an additional travel location that will be added after optimizing your route. So let's optimize this route to see what happens. Our current travel time is 4 hours and 15 minutes. Let's see how much it is after optimizing our route. So in this case, we have saved 1 hour and 3 minutes, from 4 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours and 12 minutes. So we're going to accept this route. Let's have a look at our second user. So we select a different user and we follow the same process. So we click on the Smart Routing button. We could add the start and end location, but again, remember that this will create 2 additional locations that aren't reflected in your total travel time here. So we're going to show the optimal route and see if we can save time here as well. So in this case, we have reduced our travel time from 2 hours and 14 minutes to 1 hour and 34 minutes, which has saved us another 40 minutes. If you and your team are spending a lot of time on the road, adding on smart routing is a no-brainer. If you would like to add on smart routing, scan the QR code and reclaim your valuable time today.
Another cool feature that I'm super excited to be able to share with you is our smart tables. So you'll see in the updates tab, there is a new update about this feature that has been, is going to be released, in the next few days. So many of you that are familiar with Formatize know that there are filtering options like we've gone through today in the jobs functionality, and there is some information that isn't available that you may like to have available. So we've built the smart tables to be as flexible as possible. So you can see here it's fairly similar as a look perspective of what you're used to, but the smarts really come from additional columns and also filtering availability. So with your columns, you can choose any of the available fields to be visible or invisible. So just toggle on and off to make those changes suit your requirements, as well with filters. So you can add any filter that you would like using the different columns that are available, and they can be and or filters as well. So you can make all of those adjustments to suit your needs. You can then save that as a view. So if it's a particular way that you like to look at your job list, you can click on the view and save that view, and also choose to share that view with other user groups within your Formatize account. Additionally, with the functionality of the smart tables, you can rearrange the order of the columns in your view. So if you'd like the contact name to be to the far left-hand side, you can most definitely do that, as well as being able to pin a column to the left or right. So no matter the size of the screen, when you need to scroll across, you can have that particular column stay in one place. So it's really making it personalized to you and what you would like to be able to see within your jobs module. So this feature, as I mentioned earlier, is being released in the next few days, but we just wanted to let you know beforehand, and thank you for coming to today's webinar. We hope that you found it really helpful. I'm going to share with you now a screen with a QR code to be able to opt in to smart routing. Now, if you have any questions, I'll stay online and answer as many as I can. If I can't get to your questions, then most definitely I'll come back to you as well.